Hello, welcome back to another episode of Poppin Movie Reviews. I'm your host Harree. Today I am on my own and I'm talking about Tim Burton's new film, Miss Peregrine's Home for Gifted Mutants. Peculiar children. Now, this film is Tim Burton's latest project. I've been waiting a long time for it. I'm a huge Tim Burton fan, and it is Tim Burton's version of X-Men a little bit. Burton's latest film adventure follows Jake, a seemingly ordinary and slightly boring character who discovers a world of magic, blah blah blah. Jake, played by Butterfield, he's alright in this film. His performance isn't brilliant. He does what he can, he says his lines, it's fine. Now, Tim Burton knows exactly what people want from him. He knows which films of his are classics, he knows which are cult classics, and he really delivers on that in this film. Especially a scene where these two weird puppet thingies are fighting each other, and when they're fighting it's a mix of animation and stop motion, kind of what made his earlier films cult classics. It was great to see that. It was fun to watch it. It felt like classic Tim Burton. I really enjoyed it. Eva Green, who plays Miss Peregrine, she's captivating in this film. Her performance is on point. A lot of the characters that seemed more interesting weren't forefronters in this film. It's quite dark. It's not so dark that children won't enjoy it, but it was a lot darker than the previous films he's made, especially Alice in Wonderland and Big Eyes. It's more of the fantasy adventure that we're used to. Visually, the film looks great. It's got great effects. I can't get into it too much without spoiling it, but this film has its fair share of plot holes. It's one of those things where every time they explain how something is happening, it raises more questions. You're like, if they can do that, why don't they do this? My biggest problem with this film is actually the soundtrack. It's not scored by Danny Elfman. For whatever reason, he couldn't do it. He usually does Tim Burton films and he gives it that Tim Burton sound, that kind of magical feeling that brings you into a magical world. This didn't have that, and my biggest problem with the soundtrack was it fell off. Not all the way through, but definitely on a big action piece where the characters were all fighting and it was really their moment to shine. The soundtrack was a weird bassline club type of song. It didn't suit the scene and it didn't really suit the film. It just felt like they were going, hey, look at us, we know what kids listen to, we know what's great music. Shut up! Also, Samuel L. Jackson is in this film. Now, I just want to point out, Samuel L. Jackson's a great actor and we all know he's entertaining. He was entertaining to watch in this film, but he plays a character in this film who hunts people who are different. The Peculiars. Now, it's almost exactly the same character he played in Jumper, where he hunted people who are different. He even has white hair. Is it the same guy? I feel like it's the same guy. Anyway, if you enjoy Tim Burton's previous films, if you enjoy all his films, if you're a fan of Tim Burton like me, you will enjoy this film. Bizarre characters, good action, good set pieces, decent performances all round. A great film for children and adults alike. I really enjoyed it. I can't wait for the sequels. The books are a trilogy that this film is based on. Hopefully we'll get 2 more films. Now, my rating for this film, I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5 on sweet popcorns. So till next week, peace.